And I'm your test educator, Uday Shankar, and let's crack it today. So today's topic to discuss is a quick discussion on IELTS strategy, and we are going to see a mixture and a compounded format of all the skills which we have yet discussed, that IELTS listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So this total journey is all about how we are going to take it forward of IELTS with respect to the strategical part. Right. So let's wait for some time for some students to join, and then we will start our class. And let me check if all the technicalities are perfect. So today's class is all about how we are compounding and mixturing and giving it as a whole of all the strategies which is available. All the strategies, if I say there is all the strategies which is available there, what I mean by is IELTS listening, IELTS writing, IELTS speaking, and IELTS reading. All the compound pillars all involved to one, and how we can go ahead and create one thing which is for sure what is to be done there. What is to be done there, how we can go in profundity, attempt and make a good score on IELTS by learning just quick strategies and always keeping this in mind. So let's wait for some time for some students to join, and then we will take it forward. On the previous YouTube session, there were a lot of doubts and there were a lot of concerns which was being put up, like what can be done when listening from section 1 to section 2, section 2 to section 3, and how all we can tackle the matching question in section 2 of listening or section 3 of listening. See, basically what all we have discussed on those lessons are the very best ways to be taken forward as a strategy, to be taken forward as a very firm being, and also there is a lot of importance to be given on the practical basis and application of the skills which are taught, right? And if you have any concerns, any doubts, any questions, please do visit the course page, that is unacademy.com/FLI international -1597. That's my course page. You can get a lot of value-added services. You can get a lot of content there of plus subscriptions and special classes. You can always go there, visit that, because those all are recorded. Those all are recorded sessions, and you don't need to worry about it. So because if you are not able to find the time to join the special classes like this, come live with me on YouTube, or you are not able to find a time to come along and give a time for your special classes, then it's fine, it's okay, no problem with that. But yes, those all are available with Unacademy, right? And do not forget to subscribe this channel and press the bell icon on the side, because that's what is going to help you to get the update on your phone and wherever you are. Yes, you can have to just click the link and you can just join this class from anywhere, right? So for that, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, Unacademy IELTS, right? Let's wait for some more students to join, then we can start the IELTS strategy class. Till that, if you have any questions, any doubts, yes, surely you may ask. So the link which I was talking about is this. Do visit this link, https://unacademy.com, right, /FLIEGE international -1597. Do copy this link, do go and visit this link. You can see on the right side there is a box which is made and written follow. If you click on that, yes, you will be able to follow me as an educator, also get an update over what all the lessons which is being published. And yes, you can use your referral code. You can use this referral code to get 10% off on the whole subscription. Yes, that's a very great thing, because I guess Unacademy is providing all the services with the very least, very low, very least pricing, and it's very affordable and it's very efficient to own it, right? And though I'm giving you a referral code to just access IELTS, whole of the IELTS solutions and whole of the IELTS classes, by this, and you might get a 10% off on the total payment. Yes, that's a great deal, I guess, and do not miss this deal anytime soon. So don't forget to subscribe yourself for the plus courses which is upcoming and get a 10% off on the whole, right? So when we are discussing about IELTS strategy, IELTS writing, and IELTS discussion, or IELTS, anything about IELTS, always remember that there is something which you need to understand. One thing is that IELTS is an ocean of applications. It is not something that we can learn by making ourselves prepared for IELTS. That's the one thing, that's the most important thing that one needs to understand. IELTS, if you're going through, IELTS is not something that you can rely on learning. IELTS is something that you can rely on going up ahead and improving your strategy towards preparation and cracking the IELTS exam. But if you're really worried about your English, then my friend, this is not the stage which you should be looking forward for. Now what I mean by this is, when you are be able to go ahead and discuss and suggest some things and suggest pointers where you see that yes, this is something which is required for IELTS, but how can I improve my English? That's the whole concern. Because some students will come to me and say that, sir, I want to improve English, I will start preparation for IELTS. No, my friend, you need to improve your English to a certain level to prepare for IELTS. That's the truth, that's the sole truth that you can ever be witness with, right? And that's how, and that is where it's going to make a difference in your preparation. The moment you will describe, the moment you will understand how it's going to be, that's where it's going to be a difference for you, right? So it's sometimes it's something which you have to inculcate, something which you have to impose while you are waiting for it. So it has to happen simultaneously. Your improvement in English. So how to do it effectively? I am giving you a strategy right now to improve your English and simultaneously to prepare for IELTS. How to do this? How to do this in a more efficient and a more effective way, so that it's very efficient for you. It comes out to be very efficient for you, right? And how it can be at times a less time consuming process also, because if I put you in an English training program, it might take around 3 months for you to completely get and hone and master every concept of English and come out and say, hey, I know master English, now let's learn IELTS strategies. That might take around 1.5 months to 2 months, so that's around say 5 to 6 months is going to be done. But how to complete this quickly? By combining the strategies of English and combining the strategies of IELTS combine together and forming something new, forming something new compound overall, and coming up towards. That new compound is being delivered to you through an academy, through educators like us. Yes, we are working efficiently day and night to deliver it. What all things which is needed to deliver to more improve your English, and side by side to also to improve your statistical approach towards ideas. That's what the whole strategy is about. What strategy is I'm just so much indulged, so much being concerned about strategy, strategy, and strategy. Why at all the strategy is needed? Why it all is necessary to develop and necessary to ponder upon the strategies this much that one has to be very, very efficient and very, very, very keen about it. What's the need? What's the requirement? Why it is so? Right? For the one to understand, you need to be very, very, sure about these few things. That strategy is something which is a requirement for today's preparation, because now we don't have years or months to prepare for any competitive examination. And IELTS being one of the competitive natures of examination, you need to be eventful, more and more approachable, more and more aggressive towards it. Yes. And the more and more you want to put your efforts, put your grounds, put your areas of expertise towards it, you need to improvise regular basis. You need to keep on improvising on regular basis, so that you get to discover what's unseen from other students. You get to discover what's not being so taught about many students, not being said about many students. That kind of discovery will only lead you to achievement or great success, and that kind of discovery is only possible if you go and attend some strategical plan. Because we are in a war, right? We are in a mental war, we are in an intellectual war, and everybody knows what's on the ground, everybody knows what's the plan, everybody knows what we are going to face. Common enemy, right? But what is our strategy? That is going to decide who is going to win with the unseen common enemy, and who is going to lose to that enemy. Now, to be very clear, to be very frank, and to be very precise, this battle is more easier than any other battle, because we now know what are the strengths and the weaknesses of the enemy is. And if we just put our hard work on for months and months and don't spend some quality time planning our strategy towards it, then we are a failure. We are surely going to fail on. We are supposed to plan up our strategy. We are supposed to make up our strategy, design it accordingly, our game plan, our strategy, our warhead, to face the enemy which is going to be coming up. And this is very, very important for us to hold up that, to almost sharpen to an edge. But yes, it's fail-proof. That kind of strategical plan and approach is needed when you're preparing for IELTS. And for every such, this is what it is required. Let's go ahead to see some introductions I've made. let's wait for some time for the students to join, and after a minute or two, we will start the class of IELTS strategy. Punyamurti, hi. So let's start our journey towards quick discussion on IELTS strategy, and let's track it. Let's track the strategical part of it. Right? Going ahead, we will see a lot of things. Going ahead, we will see a lot of strategical approach towards it. Yes. As I said, it's a mix of all the skills, all the pillars. So I guess there is a lot of disturbance which is being noted and being founded upon. I guess it's purely a network issue because I don't see any, right? And there is a very quiet room with this. Right? So we will continue the class, and I guess if it is resolved by the technical team behind, but don't worry about it. Yes, it will be surely sorted down. So let's start the class by saying that what is listening? Yes, and if you can see and look ahead, as I told you, this all the overall strategical concept is all based on the bits and component nature of all the pillars, which is being combined together and formed in one by one process. So what we can call and what we can say as a discrete or as a very finance of the things, we have to take it forward with a lot of grace, a lot of practice and dedication to hone and understand one. Right? Yes. So the ability to pay attention to and effectively interpret what other people are saying, we can call it as listening. And if we are calling this an ability to pay attention to and effectively interpret as listening, these are the two keywords that we need to pay attention to. Right? So to pay attention, what do you mean by that is to pay attention with all your mind and soul. If you are actually being attentive about what we are trying to say or what you want to listen to, you can effectively interpret that. That's what the simplest meaning of listening will be. And this is a simple image which tells you that there is a difference between listening and hearing. Hearing is an ability and listening is a skill. This girl here is using her ability to listen to. Right? It's her ability to keep an eye, give the ears and listen to something which is very far or what she is not sure about what to be paying attention on. That's her ability. The skill is to something that, yes, this is a skillful way of doing it. Correct? So it's a skillful way of doing it, but yes, I need to apply all my efforts and learning and skill to listen to what is not heard properly, what is not properly known of. So by this, we have to take it forward in a very understanding note that yes, if I'm listening to something, if I'm hearing some sound, that sound is not my concern until unless I'm actually trying to find out what that sound is about, where it is coming from, what it is. Once I start paying attention, the hearing converts into listening. In examination, you have to listen to the audio, not just hear to the audio and expect, hey, why I'm not getting the answers. Right? So always be prepared. Unboxing the skill. Be attentive but relaxed. What I mean by this is being attentive but relaxed. Yes, you have to be very attentive towards your subject, your orientation, your way of approach towards the idea. If you be attentive towards it and also at the same time be relaxed towards it, yes, you can understand around 87% of the audio and process it without fail. 87% of the audio you can understand and process without a hunch, without a failure. And that's, I guess, a big achievement if you look closely towards it. And being attentive but relaxed and going forward and thinking of what can be done and what cannot. As I will tell you a classic example of being attentive but relaxed, I can say, for example, understand, if you are watching a cricket match of India and Pakistan and Virat Kohli is the seventh when it gets down and Virat Kohli is the batsman who was in the crease and playing for the Indian cricket team and just need two balls, 10 runs, he is just going to make it. Understand the way and the approach or the encouragement of what are the feelings which you will be having. You will be so indulged, you will be so profoundly concentrating on what the outcome of this whole match would be. And that might lead you to not being so relaxed, and you might be felt already, you might be feeling that all the things that is happening around might not make sense to you until you keep an eye on it, you keep an ear to it, you give all your concentration towards it. Right? So it doesn't make any sense, or it might not make any kind of sense to you or to anyone if you keep on going and getting ahead. Keep an open mind always. Yes, always keep an open mind whenever you are planning to get to it. Right? Once you start giving it up, once you start honing it up, if you don't keep an open mind towards it, it's always difficult for you to follow what all the statistical plans and what all the data responded upon you in the listening zone. Right? Because maybe or may not be, you might be engulfed or flooded with a lot of thoughts in between. That is not necessarily something which you have to think of in between the audio, right? And that might lead you to confusions, that might lead you to Alright, there might be some technical difficulties which are leading to disruption of sound. No problem, let's get ahead and we will get it clarified overall afterwards. And imagine always tend to imagine what all you are being listening to, what all you are being listening and experiencing as an input in terms of audio. Always try to imagine that. As long as you keep on getting to hold that notch, as long as you keep on getting to understand that, try to imagine all these things, because once I say, hey, once upon a time there lived a king, and the moment I say it and the moment you listen to it, you will start imagining each and every bit of it. Right? So basically what I'm trying to say is, once you keep on imagining, your memories get picturized, and once it gets picturized, it's easy to revisit and go and recollect it and come back and use it as an information towards your questions. But if you don't do it, if you don't imagine it, I guess that's a a situation which might be pondered upon, where it's difficult for one to understand and difficult for one to totally cover up all the situations which one can be in and explain and to themselves that what might be the possible answer out of it, because you might be very confused with what, see, the audio which is there for listening in the examination is just 4 to 5 minutes. Just by listening to 4 to 5 minutes for the first time, you might be able to not to collect all the information which is there. Also try to feel the speaker, because once you get not to understand the EQ of the speaker, that is the emotional quotient of the speaker, you are absolutely missing something. Next we will go ahead from listening, we will go ahead to reading. and we will see what is reading. What is exactly reading? Reading is a process of looking at a series of written symbols and getting meaning from them. Yes, my friends, it's a process of looking at a series of symbols and getting a meaning out of it. Once you start looking at the symbols, it means it's a visual talent, it's a visual skill which you are doing. Your input centers are your visuals. The more and more you carefully look at the series of written symbols, the more the process of reading gets efficient. And while you are looking at it, once you understand that, you will get a meaning from them, and when you process that meaning, yes, you are in a reading process. Understand this as a complete process, because once you look at it, you understand the words, you understand the reading, and you keep on doing it, you are processing the reading. Now, to be very, very specific, to be very, very exact in the meaning, always remember, whenever you are taking a forward with the reading, it's more about you being the reader than anybody else. Right? And if you do not process it, and if you do not care about it very, very nicely and specifically, and take a responsibility towards it, that yes, this might be a possible reason, this might be a possible way that I can communicate. This is also something which is information I need to process. If this logic, if this approach will not be there inside you, it might be very difficult for one to process it altogether. Right? This is a process of reading which is divided into parts. If you can see, this is during the reading, which is the exact reading process which one attends, right? Which one hones up, which one attends to. This is IELTS. Say for example, this is IELTS reading. IELTS reading, this might be IELTS reading. But before you go ahead and put up your skills to test and all the things which is there available in IELTS reading, I might suggest you, I will be suggesting you that, yes, go ahead before the reading. Go to before the reading and look carefully at what you need to do before the reading, because before the reading is a process to activate your skill zone. It is to activate your skill zone. And the more and more you will be able to, or more and more you will be profoundly able to activate your skill zone, you will be better in applying it during the reading process. And how to activate the skill zone? Start reading something which is not important, not so important, not so specific, not so very, very profound, and even the questions cannot be asked by that. Right? So start reading those, like newspaper, like reading what do you call that? Some novels, this and that. Basically, when you start doing all these things and reading all these things, you might be, you might end up with having an approach. You might end up with having a process where you can see that yes, this is something which I can really attend for. This is something which I can really do for. Right? And going forward, you see, after the reading process also, there is a process which awaits, that is revisit. That is revisiting the old sessions, revisiting what all you read in IELTS reading process. All the things which you have completely read and done and dusted during the reading process, you have to revisit it and make sure you do it properly, because that's the way, that's only the notion where you can see that yes, you are actually making a permanent mark on the reading process. whole of the reading process, you are just applying a permanent mark to it. Right? And in reading, as you can see, we have 3 sections, 3 parameters. Right? These are the parameters I'm talking about. Your strategy should be how I can completely attend 3 sections, complete 40 questions, and well within the time that is 60 minutes. If this strategy works for you, this is something which you can easily go and fetch. This is the skills, this is the strategy which you have to plan accordingly to get your reading skill also intact. Number 1 is summarization. Always pull up the strategical work towards what you can learn from the summarization, right? So how all you can summarize and how all you can put up, still go forward with summarizing, right? So more and more you will be able to summarize, more and more you will be able to go forward and derive your own content, derive your own ideas out of it. You can be able to make a better mark on what we can call as summarizing skill. Sequencing, secondly comes with sequencing. What is sequencing? Sequencing is nothing but organizing each and every thought, each and every idea, one by one, chronologically, that what all you have read now is being arranged. Third one is inferencing. You need to start inferencing, pulling out the opinions from the passage. Your own conclusions, your own opinions, your own answers to the question you have to infer, get inside and refer. That's what inference is. Comparing and contrasting, comparing the similarities and dissimilarities. Comparing the similarities and dissimilarities together, we can say yes, we are getting ahead to understand and know what is comparing and contrasting the ways. Right? Skills before we start is drawing conclusion. What to draw conclusion of? If this is the passage that I am dealing with, how I can derive a conclusion to, right? And also self-questioning. You have to start questioning yourself that yes, if this is the one, that is the one. What I can do, what I can do. Question yourself, ask questions to yourself, and also be on keeping experiencing and telling the answers to it. Once you start doing it, yes, you can surely get ahead to the part. Facts and opinions are nothing but, if you can see closely, you have to derive your own facts and opinions and have it already with you even before you go ahead and create anything, or even before you go ahead and attend anything, right? That can be an easy point of interaction for you. That facts and opinions should be there. That way of conduct, way of approach should always be there. Next, we can go to speaking part and see what is speaking. Speaking is a human vocal communication which uses the language. In its part. And basically, if you see and look closely, this is communication first before it is anything else. Right? So to attend the communication, we need to form a bridge. We need to form a connection. If I want to communicate myself, I want to pass on myself to others, I want to form a bridge. I want to communicate. I want to elongate my process of indulgence and communication slowly and bit by bit. I need to increase the length, to elongate the length. And by means of that communication part, you can easily get ahead with a lot of strategical work. If you understand what exactly is the skill, if you understand what exactly is on table, you can definitely plan out the strategical approach towards it. And if I say, hey, this is communication, and if this is communication, this has to be the strategy. But the strategy is nothing but you need to plan something up to make up a bridge, to make up and control, and to complete that whole bridge over it. And once you do it, yes, surely you can be able to make it up. And for that communication to occur, and for that communication to happen properly, you are using a language with it. That's what the difference is. Now going ahead, there are two basic types of speaking which we say: informal speaking and formal speaking. And if I can say that no, informal and formal, both the speaking is nothing but, see, if I say informal speaking, who all we can speak or whom all we can talk to informally? The people around us who we can talk to informally are our parents and friends, right? That we can talk to our heart-to-heart, open communication, we can say. We can talk as informally. How to do this? Number one, we have, say for example, if you're talking to your mom, do you go there and talk to her like, hey mom, I want to talk to you regarding this subject, and this is the topic today, and this is Thursday today, this is Tuesday today, this is Monday, I want to talk to you about this. Very specific? No, right? Just go with the flow, whatever the topic is, we just talk. Sometimes we don't even talk to your mom, we just spend time with them, right? So basically there is no subject. Secondly, there is no, will you go to your dad and say, hey dad, I want to talk to you but I only have 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes we need to complete this topic. No, right? So that leads to there is no time limit. And thirdly, there is no presentation. Right? There is no presentation which is being monitored upon. Correct? But in formal, all these things, all these parts is, yes, it is a very, very mandatory field to cover up. There is a subject which you have to stick in. There is a time limit which you have to respect and be with that. And also there is a proper presentation format which you need to hone up. If anything of such misses in formal, say for example you miss out presentation, say for example you miss out subject, or also you miss out the time limit. If anything or 2 or 3 anything is missed out, this goes from formal to informal. This variation, this deviation, this flow is not good. This flow is not at all good for anyone or for one to understand. Okay? So do not deviate from this formal speaking to informal, because formal speaking requires, wait a second, formal speaking requires turn taking. How one can be effectively taking the turn one by one and producing the answers and scripts and prolongments one by one. How we can do that? That also we have to take care of. Anticipation. What should be the next question, or what might be the next possible way of approach? That also we have to ponder upon. What is the emotion? Right? You should add upon the emotion. What should be the proper emotion to say something? Hey, good morning. I can't say, hey, good morning. Hey, happy birthday. That emotion has to be there. Even though you are going formal, even though you are going informal, emotion is very, very important. Pattern. Always understand that you need to have a follow certain pattern on propagating your ideas to one. You can't just land into the subject. You can't just pick up the point and start from there. You have to rely on each and every point required. Rhythm. There should be a rhythm when you talk. Like if I am singing to you and carrying at a head up and down, right? And processing it in a wave. I'm not just stagnantly talking to you in one rhythm. I'm not like a robotic voice to you. I'm sounding like a human because I'm following up the rhythm. Robots can't do that, right? It can't understand when to stop, when to sing, because it doesn't have a vocal cord, vocal senses, a heartbeat, a lung, a pulse rate, right? I catch up my breath, I say, oh my god, this is so bad, right? It was a hell of a day. Robots can't do that. That's the rhythm, that's the pattern, that's the emotion which can be other. And if you join these three, you might be very, very effective. And there should be a purpose on whatever you are trying to achieve. Right? There should be a purpose, and you should always push yourself towards the need of it. And there should always be a target audience which you need to target and complete that purpose. So this purpose is basically for the target audience. Right. And background knowledge is important, see, because I can't go ahead and speak about IELTS strategy very lamely and vaguely and tell you about, hey, strategies are this. So these are the strategies. Try to understand this. Keep on learning it up. And once you understand, once you cover it up everything, you will be very, very sure, you will be very firm about that is. And the fourth point is perspective. Yes. You need to also rely on the perspective point of view. That what is exactly your way, your view, your point, your methodology, your idea inside your head that you want to ponder upon. That is more important. Right? And these are the obstacles in speaking that one need to avoid no matter what. There should not be any unclear message, there should not be any inconsistency, there should not be any incomplete statement which is being said, there should not be any listener's dilemma, and there should not be any negative aspects of the subject. If you carry it on, if you carry it forward with all these things properly, I can assure you that yes, you can be very well be able to attend and hone the strategical approach and score a very good mark over IELTS. Right? And how to develop the art of the skill. Speak the language. Start speaking the language and start thinking of the language also. Always think in English. Right? Have a practice ground. Always have somebody and some sort of practice ground where you can go ahead and say, hey, can you listen to me and correct me? That person is important. That way of information is important. Listen to yourself. Always listen to yourself so that you can correct yourself in no matter time. Imagine every time. So whatever you want to be in the stage or in the program, you have to imagine it each and every time so that by doing it, it's not for the first time, because for the first time we might make some mistakes. But if you have imagined it a lot of times, I have already played all the songs inside my head, that can surprise me when it is happening for the first time or the second or the third, because I have lived that moment million times already. Right? So understand this all things. And lastly, what is writing? Writing is a medium of human communication that represents language. It's a medium of human communication that represents language. It means you have to represent it over something, to scribble it, write it, or type it to represent the language. With what? With signs and symbols. If this is a sign, if this is a symbol, A, B, C, I can say this ABC because I know English. If somebody who doesn't understand English, they will say, hey, you have written some signs, you have written some symbols with that. Right? So basically we are trying to understand the writing in some general terms. That's why we have written signs and symbols. But language is a must. If you are relying on English, yes, these are signs and symbols. If it is not English, there might be any other signs and symbols. But application of language is a must. And if I am using English, I am choosing English as a language, and that has to be completely and profoundly understood by you. Going ahead, essentials of writing: grammar, punctuation and sentence structure. These are the very, very essential points and tools of writing. When you say grammar, why grammar? Grammar gives you the form to your writing. Gives a form. See, it's very, very similar to giving a container. Right? Giving a container, giving a form, giving a structure towards words. So grammar is that. Punctuation is nothing but giving a proper meaning to it. Because if you give a proper punctuation, then it's okay. If you give a wrong punctuation at times, that strategy might all topple down because the whole sentence meaning might change for you, my friends. Right? And sentence structure is as similar as how you can go ahead and ponder upon what exactly is your thoughts on. Right? What exactly is your thoughts on? What exactly you want to say? That's what the importance of sentence structure is. Importance of spelling. So in this strategy, always include not to make any spelling mistakes and not to make any formatting mistakes. And basic skills to understand. Reading the comprehension. Always rely on reading the comprehension, because if you don't understand and comply with the reading comprehension skills, then my friend, it is again a difficult task for you. Then handwriting. Right? Handwriting is a must. It is just like brushing over your foot. If you don't do it properly, if you don't do it accordingly, specifically towards it, yes, you will not be able to attend that. Content knowledge. You should be able to rely and completely attend the content knowledge over it, so that you can able to write and produce some logical and efficient content towards the reader. Editing skill, it is better for you to edit and understand what all the mistakes you have done, rather than somebody else to come up and correct your mistakes and you might lose your bag up to. Always follow the rules and regulations, because if I say 150 words or 250 words, it needs to be completed in 20 minutes. It needs to be completed in 40 minutes. Total of 60 minutes. It's a strategy which they have been pronouncing to you. They have already given you a strategy. Do not deviate from that. Do not say, no, I don't want to follow the strategy. I just want to practice. I just want to completely understand, and I will do it my own terms and ways. That might not lead to a very, very proper outcome, which might not be so well supported by you, and which not be so well enjoyed by you. So this is the end of the class. This is the end of the session of strategy. These are the strategies which you want to engulf and take it ahead and plan it accordingly, so that one can understand. And yes, this is the page where you can get a lot of information about the course page. This is the course page, the link to the course page. Right? https://unacademy.com/FLIEGE international -1597. This is the same thing which is written here, over here, right? The referral code FLIEGE international -1597. Please do hit the link, follow the educators, and also get all the materials that you want for plus courses and special classes there. You can also have a very, very good attention towards it and very, very practice ground towards it. With a lot of efficiency, you can imagine. And also there is a referral code which is there, 1597. FLE International -1597, and you can easily get a 10% off on your whole subscription fees. And lastly, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, so that you can get the live updates and attend all the classes of educators around India. Right? And also hit the bell icon to get the updates on your phone as notification. So thank you so much for joining today, and thank you for a part of it and being a part of it. And next time when we will meet, we will come up with some different courses. Different strategies, different plans, different analysis, and just all the time we are here for you. So no, don't worry if something comes up with some difficulty and complexity. We will surely make it through. So let's crack it together, right? And if any doubts, any questions, the last moment, I'll be here for the next few minutes. Surely I can solve it. So surely I can give a quick suggestions to you. Alright then, thank you so much, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, right, so that you might not, I wish you might not lose any of the information which is upcoming on YouTube Live. It's a platform where you can follow. Right, let's try it. Thank you so much.